Americans are being devastated by the coronavirus at levels once considered unthinkable. More than 187,000 new cases were reported yesterday, and that is a new record. We're also seeing increased deaths, more than 2,000 people just yesterday. That's a number that the experts had warned we would hit by Christmas.
The coronavirus task force held its first public briefing yesterday in months. It came as the CDC issued a blunt new warning, telling Americans not to travel for Thanksgiving. Our lead national correspondent, David Begnaud, joins us with some breaking vaccine news. David, good morning.
Good morning. We just heard from Pfizer. They will today request emergency use authorization from the FDA. Now, we don't know how long it's going to take to get the authorization so that the vaccine can start being distributed to elderly people, frontline workers, and eventually to the rest of us. But again, that could take months. This morning, we are on 57th Street in Midtown Manhattan. Look at the line to get tested. It stretches around the block. I counted it, 98 people when I started counting, and that was about 10 minutes ago. Some folks were lining up at 5 a.m. You mentioned the COVID task force. It'd been months since we heard from them, and finally they took to the podium yesterday. Let's start with that.
This is really a call to action for
briefing the country for the first time in 4 months. White House Coronavirus Task Force Coordinator Dr. Deborah Birx acknowledged that the situation nationally is worse than ever.
This is more cases more rapidly than what we had seen before.
But the news is not all bad. With emergency use authorizations, or EUAs as they're known, for vaccines on the horizon, officials say distribution could start within weeks.
EUA comes, 24 hours later, vaccines will be distributed.
Dr. Anthony Fauci called the results of coronavirus vaccine trials extraordinary, and he urged all Americans to get vaccinated as soon as possible.
The process of the speed did not compromise at all safety, nor did it compromise scientific integrity.
Dr. Fauci also said, right now, more than ever before, Americans should double down on hand washing, mask wearing, and social distancing.
If you're fighting a battle and the cavalry is on the way, you don't stop shooting.
Meanwhile, the fight continues in ICUs across America, where nurses are battling not just the virus, but denial. Registered nurse Ashley Bartholomew says she was shocked when one of her COVID patients in an El Paso hospital told her this.
He just kind of, gestured towards the TV like, well, fake news. It doesn't really seem like it's more than a flu. I said to him, I have never seen so much death and so much sickness in the past 2 weeks than I have in my entire 10 years in healthcare combined.
Bartholomew says she cried in front of him. And she says after that patient left the ICU, his perspective changed.
He said, wow, I saw the other people and I was wrong.
What did that moment mean to you when he seemed to get it?
I would love to say that it felt like a victory, but the big picture, that if there are people that are thinking along these same lines, we're in trouble.
What was your intention behind sharing this?
I don't know. I haven't been asked that. I mean, I guess my intention is just that, misinformation is killing us.
I can tell you from traveling this country for the last 7 months covering coronavirus, the denial is real. And Gail, it is affecting. It is affecting, as you just saw from that nurse, the frontline workers who are taking care of people who are dying.
That's why, David, I think it's so important that you're telling these stories. But what really hurts me is that it has to get this dire for people to get it. We keep hearing these stories over and over. It has to get almost where you're near the brink where people say, yeah, this is really serious. Thank you, David.
8 months later, and they're still fighting it.
I know. We just have to keep telling the story, David. Thank you very much.
And the next test of trust, of course, will be the vaccine.
Exactly.
I want to underscore that Dr. Anthony Fauci says this thing is solid.
Yeah.
They have not.
It's helpful to hear him say that. Actually,
it is helpful to hear him say that.